everybody, it's Benny One, and I'm back at you with another movie review, and we're on the last Hobbit movie, everybody. The Battle of the Five Armies, everybody. So, this is our third epic, big battle ending movie in the Hobbit trilogy, everybody. And the movie literally is all about one giant ass battle. Like 2 hours of this movie are literally about the Battle of the Five Armies. And the movie, I think when the credits hit, is like 2 hours and 35 minutes maybe. So like most of this movie is the Battle of the Five Armies. So everybody's back. That was in the second one. The first one, Peter Jackson directed once again. You guys know all that stuff by now. So this movie picks up right where the last one left off. I would say that this, out of the whole trilogy, this is the only one that literally picks up seconds after the events of the previous movie in the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit movies, because we say Smaug going after Lake Town, everybody, and he destroys Lake Town. Oh, destroys Lake Town. But Bard, Dragon Killer, everybody, Dragon Slayer, he knocks him down, kills him and all that shit. It's cool seeing Smaug do his thing as a dragon and all that, so it was cool. But that was basically the beginning of the movie, the first probably like 20-ish minutes of the movie, and then literally the rest of the movie is all about the Battle of the Five Armies. Like, and that's the thing about this movie is like, yes, there's awesome action set pieces and sequences. The special effects look great. The fight scenes are cool. It's awesome seeing a huge army of dwarfs going up against a huge army of elves at first until the orcs show up. It's really cool. I will say probably my favorite thing about this movie is how it ties and like shows Saruman and Lord Elrond, and when Gandalf is trying to tell them, you know, that Sauron is back and there's something going on, and where Gandalf is being held, we get this awesome freaking fight sequence with Saruman and Lord Elrond and Lady Galadriel. Like, oh my god, probably my favorite part of the movie. Like, it was so cool to get to see that shit happen. Like, I love watching the wizards and shit do their shit in these movies, like all 6 of them. I love it. Love it. We get to see Gandalf doing some cool shit later in the movie, fighting. It's awesome. And I love that, like, they finally learn that, like, he is back. Like, he's not gone completely. And then we see the seeds of what the Lord of the Rings, you know, is and what's going to happen with them, because Saruman's like, you leave him to me, I will take care of him. And that's where I think shit's already brewing in his head that he's going to join sides with this guy, or he already did. I'm not really sure, but I think at that point he was already just kind of thinking about it. He didn't decide yet, but I don't really know. So that was probably one of my favorite things about the movie. And the Battle of the Five Armies is good. Like, the whole battle, I really feel like it's super stretched out, though. And that's the thing is like, they took, like, what is, like, I not off the top of my head don't know how many pages, but I know the actual Battle of the Five Armies in The Hobbit is not that huge of a chunk in the book. So it's just pages. Like I said, I don't know how many pages because it's been a long time since I've read the book. And they literally turn it into an entire movie. So there's no setup, but all this payoff, all the payoff. And they're looking to the other 2 movies to do that. And that's where I feel like, as far as story and stuff, when you got to look at the movie as story, it's pretty weak and stuff, because it's all payoff and big battle and all that kind of stuff. So, and that's the thing about these Hobbit movies is I think it's cool we got 3 movies, but I don't necessarily think we needed 3 movies, because the first movie, I feel like they were stretching the story for setup purposes, and then the middle movie was good. It was structured well, flowed well, everything. And then the third movie, we got all this payoff with no setup, and then they're stretching that last part of that book out, like majorly stretching it out. Like, we probably could have gotten 3.5 hour movies, and it probably would have all flowed better together and connected better, and everything in the movies would have maybe churned out a little better, just a little bit better. They're not horrible movies, they're really not. They're just not quite as good as the Lord of the Rings trilogy. They're just not. So when I do go and rank these these movies, you're probably going to be able to tell that the 3 Hobbit movies will be below the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm sorry. It'll just be depending on how I do each trilogy. So, but yeah, the Battle of Five Armies, there was some sad shit at the end of the movie too. There was some sad shit. After what happens to Thorin and everything, and the funeral, and the end of this movie and the Return of the King always get me tearing up, man. Always get me tearing up. I must really care about the characters in these 2 trilogies because they always get me tearing up. It's pathetic, but you know what? I don't care. I'm a man. I cry in movies sometimes when it needs to happen. There's nothing wrong with that shit. So, and once again, this movie and trilogy ends in the Shire, right where it started. I love that shit. It goes into the present time where Bilbo's old, Gandalf's knocking on the door. Hello, Fellowship of the Ring. I love the connection that they did with both trilogies, and I love that this trilogy also, it began in the Shire and it ended in the Shire in Bilbo's house. I love that shit. In my opinion, it's a perfect start to end, bookend. I love it. I do. I just love it. So, all right, everybody. So, the Battle of Five Armies. I'm giving this one 3 lightsabers out of 5 lightsabers. It's like I said, it's way too stretched. It's got some cool stuff in it, but they really stretched this movie out thin when it came to story. So, 3 lightsabers out of 5 lightsabers for The Hobbit and the Battle of the Five Armies. I hope you guys enjoyed these Hobbit reviews and Lord of the Rings reviews. I will be doing my ranking video soon, not too long after this is posted. So, I'll be catching you on the tube laters because I have spoken.